All right, guys, we're going to start. Nice to see everyone here. Hi.
Hey,
I
thank
am
y'all for coming.
Tony. I am the current Dungeon Master for Top Rope Tabletop. I am also a wrestling commentator and manager for the last, almost 9 years. We are Top Rope Tabletop, and we are a bunch of wrestlers and people in the professional wrestling field who play Dungeons and Dragons once a month for your viewing pleasure. I'm going to throw it up to the table. We got three of our 5 players with us. I'm going to start over with Keith, and then we'll move our way down. So,
Oh, okay, just going. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I am the Bearcat Keith Hotz.
Speak up.
Oh, sorry. Oh, close to the mic. We got a mic. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you. I am the Bearcat Keith Hotz. Wow. I've been wrestling for 16 years. Most of this greater area. Just happy to be here. Yeah. This is my first time doing this, so I've never been to a con before, so thanks for having me. Oh, go ahead.
I'm good. Okay. Oh. Hi. I'm the unwilting Tatiana. I've been wrestling for 6 years, which is weird. I've been wrestling for 6 years, playing D&D for 10-ish. My brain just forgot everything I've ever done in my life. So pretend I'm a cool person, and we'll fill out the details later.
I'm gonna use this one. I'm Justin Idol. I no longer wrestle anymore. I retired about 4 or 5 years ago. No, 3 or 4 years ago. But I started wrestling in 1998. I made a good run at wrestling. I traveled all up and down the East Coast. I've wrestled in 37 states. I wrestled in 5 countries. I wrestled for all the big companies and dark matches and background things like that. I started tabletop gaming when I was really young, but I only got into D&D about 6 years ago when we started this group. That's about it. That's about for me. I loved wrestling, but my body just couldn't take it anymore, and now I can roll dice and just have to deal with the carpal tunnel.
Yeah, carpal tunnel, man.
the interesting thing about playing Dungeons and Dragons and most tabletop RPGs in general is that essentially you are playing a character. Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
How you
And
doing?
that's what we do in pro wrestling. You play a character, whether it's a good guy or a bad guy. Same thing we do here. In addition, you do the same things that someone would do to build a wrestling show in a campaign. When we started the idea, and Keith actually can go a little bit on detail because it was his idea to start. You were the one who did the Facebook post.
A little bit. It was a mixture of
Both you two.
It was a cool much. It was initially Tatiana's idea,
Tell us.
but we went together. It was during the pandemic, right? When it started.
Mm-hmm.
Tatiana petitioned online gaming, and there's a bunch of wrestlers, and we played a few various one shots on Discord, and then we kind of went from there. But it kind of branched out where it becomes like, hey. Then we went with Sorg. It's like, hey, why don't we do a show for this? Why don't we try this? Something different. And you can probably branch on more. Just want to share my microphone?
Sure.
Yeah.
Pandemic started. Everybody was obviously bored in the house and whatnot.
This one's mine.
Okay, now we use that one.
Nope, can't have it.
So, this is what I have to deal with.
This is how our games are, too.
Pandemic, everybody was locked in the house. I'd been playing D&D for a couple of years at that point, and all of my other groups were branched off from my college days, had all kind of hit kind of walls because everybody was like, I don't really feel like playing D&D, but I had that itch. I was like, I want to be nerdy, I want to play with my friends, and I've got a lot of friends from wrestling, so all right, cool. And I made this Facebook post saying, hey, would anybody be interested in playing D&D over Discord since, we're all kind of trapped in the house? And the amount of response I got from that post it still blows my mind to this day. It's to this day one of the biggest responses I have gotten on anything. Just so many people reaching out and saying, yeah, I want to know about this. Yeah, I want to play. Yeah, let's try it. I created a group, threw everybody who expressed interest into the group, tried to set up a couple of games.
How did you decide on us five?
So it was
You just picked your favorites.
It was a combination of favorites. It was also when I created a group. It was for the specific purpose of scheduling. Like, okay, we all want to play this game, but life, wrestling, and D&D scheduling is always the big problem. So let's try to pick like who's available on like a Friday, who's available on a Thursday, a Wednesday, whatever. And this group branched off of, I want to say like one of our Thursday options.
So we originally started playing on Thursday.
Yeah, it was a Thursday option. And I ran a one shot. I did a very bad job because I had never DM'd before in my life. But what ended up happening was that group of individuals just like stayed consistent. And it was Keith, it was Justin, it was Bro, it was Chris LaRusso.
For a little bit, yeah, Chris.
Yeah, it was Chris LaRusso was involved in a little bit and some other people. And then Justin joined a little bit later, around the time that we set up like the initial stream that eventually became Top Rope Tabletop. So it just was a big timing thing. And then timing is what's brought us together. It was chemistry that kept us as a group.
Yes.
I don't think Tony, you didn't join the group for about a year.
No, so you guys were playing like off and on and doing the Discord thing. I came on for Tomb of the Basilisk, which we ran a one shot for Tomb of the Basilisk with Keith. They DM'd and
I think that was our first ever game.
yeah.
Yes.
Our first ever official in the stream, yeah.
And so that was us four, one other person, and that just bled off into what became Top Rope Tabletop. So the large, tall man with the camera over there, his name is Sorg, nickname and last name included, and he helps us stream all our wrestling content. Like if you watch any wrestling in the area, pro wrestling in the area, odds are he's recording it or helping the people record it. IndyWrestling.us, that's where you can watch the wrestling stuff. It's a great avenue. We're on like
So much free
so
content.
much stuff.
So much content.
But we wanted to figure out a way to play D&D. And Justin, Tati, and myself all have some semblance of communication and or theater backgrounds. So we are not the stereotypical jocks. Although
I am.
he is, yeah.
A little bit.
Every
bit.
group needs one. Calm down.
That was a mixture. A little bit of jock, a little bit of theater. Dabble both.
I was always a theater kid. I attempted to be a jock one time in my life, and it did not go well.
I played Mrs. Doubtfire in a musical version of Mrs. Doubtfire.
But I think that's what makes our group good. Is there's a happy mix. Like you got the knowledge. Keith and Tyler, who's Finn Droll up there. He and both of you guys are encyclopedias of the game. So anytime we need something, we got it. Tati, Tony, and myself have theater backgrounds, also very knowledgeable of the game. Tati's been playing the game forever. I think Mikey and myself are more the off-the-cuff players.
Actually,
Goofy, we goof around a lot. And
The masters of improv.
the what?
The masters of improv.
Improv. We're big on the improv.
If you guys watch, Critical Role or D20, you always need that wild card. You need that person that is just going to do something absolutely random that sets everything on fire. Mikey, who's playing Frederick up there, and Justin, both of them are just absolute wild cards, and they'll throw things for a loop, and it'll set us down a path. There's no sound. I highly recommend you checking out our latest episode if you want to check out Top Rope Tabletop, because there are several moments that someone does an ad lib that throws me so hard. I was trying to do, I don't know what accent I was doing, but it just became, it was Scottish, but it became Sean Connery. And then it became Sean Connery with a lisp. And we, for 10 minutes, could not get off this because we could not stop laughing. And those are the moments when we started with Tomb of the Basilisk and moved into Campaign 1. Keith was DM, but I think we all realized really quickly, okay, our ability to perform without a net, which pro wrestling, you're performing without a net. At all times, you're in front of a live crowd. So we eliminated the live crowd element, but we act as if we are in front of a live crowd. Doing it that way, gosh, you lead to some hilarious moments and also some moments where you're just like, I'm falling on my face right now. Someone please catch me.
In this game in particular, the last game, I'll just say 3 words that were said, and it just threw the table for a loop. Someone at this table said, command word, come. Take that for what you will. But for like 3 or 4 minutes after, it became chaos.
Well,
It was chaos.
well, when the lovely bard casts command and tells you to come, you came.
When he says come, you come.
and no clarification. We would not. And the best part of this table is we were all super comfortable with not letting that go. We were going to beat that horse mercilessly.
And we acted it out.
No.
Phrasing!
No, phrasing.
What?
No.
What?
Right.
Okay.
You know what you're doing.
You did the
I
thing.
acted it out.
It actually.
I took a good nap after that game. Sorry.
Stop.
I was so tired.
Smoke a cigarette.
Also, like Tyler said, command lasts for a period of 6 seconds, so that was very quick.
So it was quick.
Which,
Super
you know,
quick.
I'm a little used to, but the guys were a little new too.
How is it being around all of us, Toddy?
Actually, that's a great question. You know, you are the only female identifying individual,
Non-binary.
Non-binary.
Over here.
non-binary, but you are she her.
Yeah.
How do you is there any awkwardness with that, or is it just come with like how does it balance itself out?
It can vary, especially now that we've been doing it for so many years together. It's not really like when we were starting, there was a little bit of like, oh, I feel like I am, because not only am I the only female presenting person at the table, I'm also one of the youngest. I believe Mikey is around the same age as me, maybe a year younger.
Mike is
but,
a baby. Mike is like 24.
oh my God!
No, okay, he might have turned 25. Mike is a baby.
Mikey's baby. But Mikey also doesn't come across as a baby, as,
No.
you know, per my confusion. For a while, though, before Mikey joined our group, I was the youngest at the table. So, like, the mixture of, like, being the only girl, being the youngest at the table, there were some times where it was like, okay, I feel like I'm not really part of the group. I'm just kind of like the little sister that's being dragged along because mom forced you. And it took a while to like sort of find my own footing and like be able to use my own voice to like express like I want my character to do this. I want my character to be a part of that. I have this idea for how this group should proceed and I want to have the chance to voice that opinion. And I feel like now where we are, it doesn't particularly matter that I'm a girl. It doesn't matter that like I am oftentimes looking like the oddball out at the table. I'm part of the group and I have the ability to like speak when I need to and bring ideas and riff and make jokes and convince an NPC that a character is my spouse when they're not actually, and other goofy stuff like that you'd have to go back and watch. But like it took a while for me to feel like part of the group, but now I do.
I think I've played more girls at the table than you.
That might be true. And we try. The other thing we kept in mind was to try to be as diverse as possible with the interested parties. No one is normal, and I say that in the overarching umbrella of humanity. There is no such thing as a quote unquote normal person. So we wanted to represent as much as we possibly could across the whole spectrum of humanity, and we try to make our game equal parts escape from the real world, but also have it be set in what the reality is. And the reality is not a black and white thing. We all live in this shade of gray. And it's a funny shade of gray. It's a sad shade of gray. We try to do both at the same time. That's the important part of being performers, is to offer equal parts escapism and also a balance of representation as much as we possibly can. Some of my favorite things we guys do, and I started with, I think last season was when we started going headfirst into the guest stars.
Yeah.
Dutters, nickname, real name Katie, but Dutters, guest starred. She is our marketing guru, social media marketing guru, over at IndyWrestling.us. She has been in some games. We had Riz, who is one of the senior most technology guys when it comes to filming, producing, things of that nature. Riz got to play. And then we also started incorporating other wrestlers. So we had other champions come in. The guy I brought in came from one of my companies. He was the world champion for the company at the time. Not the world champion, heavyweight champion. I always do that. And I brought him in solely to be the big bad. I asked him, would you want to kill everyone? And he said, absolutely. Because he's a good guy in wrestling, but he gets to play this evil, necromancy wielding.
Excuse me. He almost killed us too.
He almost murdered them.
The first time we met him, I was like, "This is the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna die."
It was the 9th or 8th, something like that.
Yeah.
I've been trying to kill them slowly for 2 years.
Yeah.
Can I also actually want to ask, so this is, while we were playing on, because COVID taught everyone how to teleconference, whether we wanted to learn or not, it was a little bit of a weird thing when we started going into the studio and how far that's advanced from our first games in the studio, where it was just bare walls, no lighting. Now, I mean, you guys can see we have we bought backdrops, we put lighting, sponsors.
Yeah. Speaking of which, go to drawbridgegames.com for all your tabletop needs.
Yeah, he's on Libraries Road, Suite C in the
Castle Shannon.
Castle Shannon.
God, that's going to cost us, Keith.
Owned by someone who's also a wrestler, so he, keep it in the family type deal. So how did you guys experience the changeover from like playing on stream to playing in a studio on stream? And the idea is that, yeah, we're playing a game, but we're also playing a game for entertainment purposes for others watching.
Can I start it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I may, honestly, it was more adjustment online than anything because I think it's just so different because I forgot to mention top of the where I've been playing 1 year less than wrestling. I've been playing for 15 years now. So I'm used to just in person and just being able to feed off the energy of other people. It's harder to do that when you're on stream because it just feels like there's that delay. It doesn't feel. Once we got in the studio, personally for me, I thought it was just like a breath of fresh air. Mm-hmm. Like it was just like, okay, it's on, but we're ready to go. I can feed off everybody better. I can interact with everybody better. I felt there was more. It's always way more organic in the studio. That's my personal opinion on it. But there always is an adjustment though too, because you want to all like, how's this going to look? How's our table set up? How's everything going to function? And we've definitely come a long way from just a standard prop-up table to the fantastic table that you've made.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I would say because our first session in studio, we actually weren't all at the same table because it was still, semi-bad pandemic time. So we were all set up in different stations around the studio, which was a little awkward. We could still riff off of each other. We could still hear each other really well, but like Keith, I was also used to like sitting at a table with people and playing and like being able to like look at their roles and whatnot and have direct conversations with them. And it made it a little awkward to like have that dynamic of like, hello, character B, I have a question for you. Oh, hello, character A, I have an answer for you.
Dungeon Master from way over there.
Yeah, we were legitimately like, from where I'm sitting over there, we had 6 feet of separation because that was protocol at the time.
Yeah.
Although I watched those episodes back, and while it is awkward that we're not at the same table, like the careless whisper, vicious mockery, dissonant, like I got into this like old grandma. From my old Italian grandma, chain smoking. You're never gonna dance again. Your guilty feet have got no rhythm, and it critted. Like, and I was like, and we laughed for a good. Sorry actually was giving us the move on from laughing. Like,
I think the next awkward part to sort of overcome for us was like figure out how to sort of play for an audience. Because whenever you're playing at the table just for kicks, you can spend 10 minutes laughing at somebody's joke. You can let yourself get derailed with, NPC conversation over here. It's okay for characters A and B to have a conversation over there while main action happens. But when you're on the stream, you have to limit how often stuff like that happens. You have to keep in mind okay, no, the stream has to move forward no matter what. So how long do I actually want to spend talking to this random NPC? What's the end game? We recently there was a couple of episodes into our current campaign where mine and Keith's characters went to talk to an NPC, and it was a funny conversation. It was really silly. But we were still there for the purpose of no, we seriously need information. So while you deal with that hilarious bit, where do we go to get this? Which it took a minute to get used to keeping that kind of thing in mind. And that might have been one of the biggest struggles because D&D's it's so hard not to have fun. So when you're having fun playing, you kind of forget that oh yeah, we have a job to do, and we're not just playing for us. We're playing for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. What?
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was staring at your dice. I was locked in.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of dice, by the way.
Staring at your sack.
Resident dice.
Oh yeah, that was one of our favorite jokes. That was a big joke that we had during the first in studio session. Was somebody? I think it was you. You had a bag of dice.
Yeah, I took a picture.
And you were like, "Yeah, I have a big sack." And I go, "Hey, mine's bigger."
Tati also,
It happens.
we've all developed these little niche things. I'm an ass, so that's my character arc as the DM. You can be funny, you can be serious. You have to play whichever role the character's filling, but also be equal parts omniscient, omnipresent, and also okay to lose. And I think this is the first time I've DM'd for a show. Obviously, I've done little DMs here and there, and that was all fun. But when you're trying to make it entertaining, and you want to put a challenge for you guys to win, so the audience can swell up. That's the thing with wrestling too, is that a match. How many here are diehard wrestling fans?
Right?
All right. So, for those that don't,
Never heard of it.
never heard of it. What is it? So, for those who aren't wrestling fans, the basic idea is, I'll talk about, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent. For the last couple years, up to WrestleMania 40, which is WWE, they were telling essentially the Majin Buu saga of Dragon Ball Z. Roman Reigns was Buu. Cody Rhodes was Goku. Seth Rollins was Vegeta. And you don't need to know any of those names, but I just told you the 2 years leading up to the end of the Buu saga, just by comparing those wrestlers. For wrestling, you have to build this peak and valley. It's a roller coaster. For here, in D&D, you don't have to do it, but for entertainment purposes, you do have to find that peak and valley. So there are times when I think I've built a kick butt villain that's going to really test their resolve and make them have to look inward, and they just fireball. Well, guess that's done, and I have to pivot, and then the example is this most recent episode. One second, I got you. Most recent episode, got this guy, supposed to be a big fight. They stun locked him. They stun locked her, excuse me. Completely threw the entire plan I had, so I had to go take a walk and figure out how I was going to fix it. Come back, put a plague in them. So, and now they've released the plague into the city. So sometimes you just got to flow like that. Yeah.
Two things. One suggestion, the other question.
Sure.
If you made a panel where you said wrestling for the past 20 years of just a Majin Buu epic, I would go see that.
Yeah. That was actually, no, I'm not kidding about this. That was one of my master's thesis arcs when I got my master's degree, was I talked about the comparison between corporate communications and media studies and how wrestling is just how corporate communications happens. and how wrestling is also just one big anime.
It's anime.
It's all anime.
Look,
And the second question, when you're making an original plot as a DM for publication on like a streaming, like, how does that change in like I guess the writing and editing? Because as a DM, I've always fallen into the trap of like, oh, well, this is so cool, it would be probably work as like showing or like making a story out of it, which is just kind of not the case for your 30-hour plot that's moved forward like 5 minutes.
So you have to write exactly the way we write in wrestling, which is we want to get from A to B to C, knowing fully well that in between A and B is going to be a mishmash of fuckery sometimes. Excuse my language. It's going to be sometimes a mess. And yeah. So great.
That changes things.
No.
Sorry.
I know we start with power cut or we start with cum,
Now
but
that the real Justin Idol has shown up, he has his your topless shirt, which is just the hairy chest.
Top rope,
shirt.
topless.
Shut up. Fuck off.
topless rope table.
So you have to
See, here we go.
So you have to write knowing that it's going to get, because your players are going to screw you up. They're going to want to screw you up. It's fun when they screw you up. The goal is for them to screw you up. It can throw you, it can frustrate you, but you best have an idea on how to get everyone back to B. You also need to be aware of maybe they don't want to go from B to C. Maybe they want to go a different direction. Maybe they have shown you that there is a better story to tell once they get to B, and they rather would take a detour to D.
Maybe they just want to shop for a whole episode.
And a half.
Kind of like wrestling the crowd too. I mean, sometimes the crowd might want something different, and you have to adjust.
Yeah. I mean, to Keith's point, I can't count on fingers and toes how many times I've been in a match managing, and we've had to change up what the finish was for various reasons, whether it be it just didn't feel right in the moment, to the crowd is leaning one way, so someone needs to play a little bit more into the heel end versus the face end. I mean, I have built NPCs that were originally there to just be like quest exclamation points. Like this is just to give you information and disappear into the ether. And then they become the party's favorite person, and then I have to give them, do I want them to be a partner or do I want them to be a catalyst?
Or with Tyler, you set up somebody that was going to be Tyler's buddy, Findrel, and then he was just like, "Screw this person," you know, and so it's like, let her die.
Everybody wants to talk to Bob and the Goblin, and not that well-crafted NPC you just made.
Yeah.
It never fails.
So I gave Tyler a ward, and his character's fatal flaw was that he was a bit self-obsessed, and they were in the middle of a banshee-haunted forest, and he took watch, rolled really low, did not pay attention to where his ward was. The banshee ripped her in two.
Yeah.
It was gut-wrenching. He actually changed characters.
That's right.
Because that character was the monk of the Cobalt Soul. Because we're in Exandria right now. We're playing in Exandria. That's another thing. We are not profiting off of this, so we try to use creative use license. Best thing about Critical Role is that if you give them credit for their universe and you're not profiting off of them, they will allow you to stream it. I had some emails. It was a fun email. So I gotta ask you guys a question, because you guys are the workers. I'm just the MC. I'm just the manager here. Are there moments when you're at the table or the ring or whatever where you need to like build a character as you're going? Is there moments where you realize something about your character, whether it be Mushy or Tatiana, where you realize it in the middle of the ring and you're like, oh, well, I'm this now?
I'll take that first. Yeah, my backstory, I had it, it's 3 pages long or something? Mm-hmm. Just because I'm incredibly detailed. It's nothing too tricky, but I like to get all the details out. But I also leave a lot of openings for him to fill in wherever he wants, because I don't want to know everything that's going on. But I've changed, in my mind, my backstory at least 3 times. And we're on our 10th episode? you know? But like, because in my mind, I'll see we're going a different direction. And I know we haven't touched my backstory yet. And I'm like, ooh. And I talked to him, I sent him a text. Can I change it to this? He's like, for the love of God, you know? like we haven't even done anything with my backstory yet.
But I say yes every time.
In my opinion, you can make changes up until you can't. You know, in your mind or in the story, you can make a change up until like on stream. Once it's out there, you can't change it. You have to stay with it. It's canon. Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty much the same way where like I'll make changes as I go depending on like what feels right, what makes sense. But I try to have like some sort of base structure for what I'm doing. And in D&D, I find that to be a little bit easier because my current character, he's a former college professor, he's married, he loves plants, specifically mushrooms, and he has an emotional support familiar squirrel. And
Lucas.
yeah.
Lucas.
We love Lucas so much.
Lucas.
Someday I will build a plushie of Lucas. And someday, because he's supposed to look really cool. That'll be another day project. And, you know, on the fly, like, that gives me a good structure to build stuff off of. So he's a college professor. He works with college students. College students, as we all know, can be absolutely insane. And also hilarious and sometimes traumatized and this, that, and the third. But that means that he's going to have a lot of experience. He's also an elf. He's been doing this for centuries, literally. So I can use that as a means to like, oh yeah, one time I had a student who, you know, did this in a different laboratory and this is what we learned from it. And it's just a means for me to like explain why my character would know like that little tidbit of information. When you're in the ring, however, it makes it a little bit trickier because I am my own base plot line. No matter where I go, I am always Tatiana. I know exactly every experience that I've had, what I've done in different situations, who I've faced, what history is known to the crowd I'm wrestling in front of, what maybe they know about that I don't know they know about. So I have to listen to what the crowd is reacting to. I had a match at Pro Wrestling Magic a couple of weeks ago. I was facing a very dear friend of mine, Tiffany Avatar. This is the first time she and I had ever wrestled, and that crowd knew Tiffany, and they did not know me. And I had to make the choice. Do I want to be an extra dickhead tonight, even though Tiffany's my friend, or do I want to see if the crowd is maybe open to me coming back and working with her? And as we moved through the match, I was aggressive, but I kept listening to like, did they care about what I was doing? Were they booing me and cheering her? And I got lucky in that they were interested in both of us. But you take the reactions as you move forward and build them off your own experiences.
It sounds like you guys have to be a lot player character and DMing your matches at the same time.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point.
You absolutely do. You're basically in DM mode when you're calling the match in the back, deciding like, okay, we're going to do A, B, and C. In between A and B, this is going to happen. We'll riff here, we'll riff there, but this has to happen in order for us to get to B. Between B and C, we have to do this motion. This is the vehicle for us to get to C. C is the end. This is the reaction we want when we get to C. And then whenever you get out into the ring, it's like you're rolling dice. Okay, we're here at A. We know we got to do this, so let's start rolling and see, can we do this? Does our original plan work? Where do we go from here?
And sometimes we actually do roll dice in the ring. If you
Literally had a match of dice.
They had a
rolled
match,
initiative.
a top rope tabletop match at 880 Wrestling in the South Side. It is on IndyWrestling.us if you want to check it out. It is a free match.
Allentown.
It was at Allentown?
It was in
My
the
bad.
Allentown location.
So check that out. There was weapons and there was dice.
Somebody
It
got
was
their
pretty cool.
throat slit.
No, that's
Oh, is he okay?
Weapons of a fantasy.
well, no, he's not here.
He's not here.
I actually
No,
legally
he's not
don't
here.
know if he's.
My favorite
I killed
part,
him.
my
We need a
favorite
new
part, and I
player.
don't mind spoiling this because it happened at the very beginning of the match, was I rolled a natural 20 without even meaning to. It was
She popped herself.
I did. If you watch, I roll it and I literally go pop. So sometimes you roll a nat 20 and it turns out fantastic. Sometimes you roll a natural 1 and everything sucks.
Keith, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So, you have been wrestling outside of Justice. You've been doing Dungeons and Dragons. I think the longest Dungeons and Dragons specifically. He might have you beat on top rope tabletop or on tabletop games. I do that all the time. But you both are the veteran grapplers.
Oh,
And so I got to ask the question, how hard is it to, knowing the tropes of pro wrestling and knowing the tropes of Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop RPGs in general, how do you try to avoid metagaming both in wrestling and in tabletop RPGs?
Ooh, that is a good question. Well, I personally, I don't think tropes are necessarily bad. And when you look at the way it's like, okay, but what can I do to twist on its head as well? Like,
Sort of how like Dios works, the stereotype.
yes. I mean, wrestling to its core is like, look, there's always going to be a good guy,
Right.
and a bad guy. Normally, sometimes there's two rivals, the two guys fighting. It depends on what your situation is. You have face, heel. I mean, heel is very rare, but
And wrestling is inherently country court, like a rural court.
it depends. It depends. I mean, a lot of city folk like it too. But
Yeah, but it started in we're
Carney.
We're Carney.
Yeah.
It started at a traveling circus
Yeah.
type venue, so there is a bit of a rural edge to things. Now, luckily, wrestling has evolved past some of the crazier stereotypes that we did in the 70s, 80s, 60s specifically. But sorry, that's
No, it's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But to get back to the question, I think, like I said, tropes are just, like I said, there's something you're just going to avoid. But you also you can't go to the well too many times.
Right.
Like, if like you can't always repeat the same stories. You need some variety. Same for D&D. Like, you're always going to be changing a new campaign, new character. What's the next story in wrestling? I'm actually getting into booking now more recently in wrestling, not just in more of the backstage things.
Mm-hmm.
Also, production with Sorg, thank you. And that's made me learn that, okay, what do I have to do? And not only like, because I'm still a performer myself. What do I have to do out here? What do I have to do to make the show work? What do I have to put somebody's position here on this part of the card to make everything work? Same way for D&D. It's like, okay, how's my character fit into the party? As a DM, how's this party going to work? How am I going to fit into your story? How do I fit into this over-encompassing, world that we've built? And that feels like, okay, how am I going to fit these oddball? How am I going to fit a kobold wearing a metal suit?
These crazy assholes, this kobold in an Iron Man suit. How am I going to make it work with a guy wearing a magic trench coat that's essentially a bag of holding with extra steps?
I'm a mushroom-loving professor, and basically I'm a sex bot.
And a sex bot.
A sex bot geisha.
Oh, and let's not forget our hipster
Instagram.
YouTube.
The hipster Instagram
YouTube.
YouTuber.
Our spear tuber.
Yes, spear too.
Scrytube.
Scrytube. It's there's, like I said, there's always going to be tropes, but what can you do to flip it on its head and do something different? Same way for structuring a card. You're just going to have to find what works. And just like Todd said earlier, you listen to the crowd. Right. And, okay, how can we make this show the best? And how can we make our show the best? Mm-hmm. I hope that answers. I know it's kind of going a little jilly on that one.
I mean, I would assume this is all inside baseball. And the weird thing about Dungeons & Dragons is you guys can buy a book and understand the inside baseballs of Dungeons & Dragons because it's meant to be played by everyone. Wrestling is just now having the curtain kind of pulled back a little bit. It's still a secretive business. We still like the secretiveness of it because everyone knows Hamilton is a musical. And sometimes it's cool to see how they work in the wings. But you don't want to lose the fourth wall because the entertainment is when you can suspend your reality and watch the show as a show. And the goal of, I think all of us have the goal is whatever you're watching us on, whether it's top rope tabletop, whether it's in the wrestling ring, we want you guys to be able to escape the real world and for a couple hours suspend your knowledge of the real world and just be engrossed in the story we're telling, whether it's wrestling or Dungeons and Dragons tabletop games.
We make movies.
Like movies.
That's one thing we try to do we try to keep it strictly fantasy. We try to keep politics, religion, everything out of it, unless it's in the world, Of course. Because we want to have a complete game, a complete escapism, and just to be total, just total entertainment. So people can just, get away from the real world for a little bit.
Because the real world is rough.
Yeah. And we want escapism too.
Yeah.
Like some of us don't want to deal with it for a couple hours because we can always go back to it in our real lives.
For the amount of time I've done this, pro wrestling and D&D have gotten me through some hard times.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to expand on that a little bit? Like, talk about it, or do you just want to let it sit on that?
I mean, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I'll go a little bit. Maybe this will help too, because we were talking about earlier about characters, how it relates to wrestling. When I first started 16 years ago, bland as it can be, just plain old white meat baby face.
Hell of a chop, though.
Huh?
Hell of a chop, though. You had hell of a right.
Yeah. It's because I was actually giving potatoes, actually hitting people. But I had a hard time developing character, and just getting myself out. Because inherently, I'll admit, I'm actually while in the ring I can be quite expressive.
Yeah.
I at my core, I actually kind of am quite shy. So this. Not just wrestling, but and for the process of D&D and learning characters and how to express myself, I actually learned to show myself, more, and just be myself, but also express and play this character, and it really helped me. And and like I said, I mean, sometimes life is rough, but wrestling was always there too, and all the friends I've met for it. You meet so many different people, so many walks of life, and it really did. It's helped me get through some hard times. I won't go into too much detail, but we all go through hardships and family,
I mean, this
breakups.
Yeah, this was escapism. This started as escapism from COVID, and it stayed into escapism from
and there you go,
world events, and even escapism from wrestling. I mean, Tatiana holds, I think, 1 billion titles now in the women's divisions. Okay, but she held the pizza belt. So there was a belt that was the coolest belt I've ever seen, and she held that with pride. But she's also like trying to travel to defend this belt while also getting games in. It's exhausting.
I do still have the pizza belt. I do wish I had more opportunities to take it with me, but it is currently just a title that I have without a place.
Which happens on the reg.
It does happen, unfortunately. But I have been very fortunate enough to have been able to capture championships in both Ohio and West Virginia. I've held championships in different parts of Pennsylvania, in New York, of all places. And in Delaware, which was a fun one, because that physical belt was almost the size of my entire torso.
Is that the largest belt in recorded? Like
was
that one? Okay.
It's like the plane was like this high.
And
Look at your seat cushions. That's about 75% the size of that belt.
For me, I feel like I'm one of the kind of people visually that encapsulates the idea of like anybody can become a wrestler as long as they like put the work in, because I'm tiny. I'm 5'1", and I've managed to keep myself relatively small. I'm bulkier now that I'm older, but like that works for me. But yeah, that belt was big and pretty much. I could, that scene in Captain America: Winter Soldier where Steve Rogers hides his entire giant frame behind that dinner plate of a shield. Imagine that. That's what we're working with here.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, just for anyone, I was curious kind of coming to the panel was like how in any place you want to take it, you think about like physical bodies, like either, I don't know, when you're wrestling, how you are moving and your energy, and how you maybe think about that as the character, where it's like you're talking about how your character is moving and fighting or getting injured.
The physical memory of it all.
Yeah, on either world you want to be.
So inside of the wrestling ring, obviously you can't like go. It's not like it is like theater in the sense of like we're telling stories, we're playing characters. There's costumes and lights and all of that. But in theater, there's a set script. There's a set type of motion you have to do. In wrestling, there's an element of improv that is baked into every single match you see. all the big moments can be planned out front, right, and center. Some of the big moments happen on the fly. Most of the moments in the match happen on the fly and are talked through. So training in wrestling is essentially going in and teaching others and learning from others. Okay, so so here's a motion to get from one spot to another. Here's something to do, like if you are working as the bad guy. Here's something to do if you're working as a good guy. Here's how to like use the ring to get yourself from one spot to the other. And then in D&D, it's just having everybody has their own system. I write down everything, and I write down how everything works, and it's similar.
I mean, you can see up here, I think this is actually the Sean Connery moment, because we're all laughing way too hard. But
Don Connery.
Don Connery.
John Connery, yeah.
Sure. And I just went into a but you can see when we're talking about what we're doing, we subscribe very hard to the Matt Mercer effect of being animated with our movements. We're not saying I'm going to swing. I asked him, how are you doing this cleave? Instead of how do you want to do this? Our term is, what's the finish?
Because we're wrestlers. What's our finisher?
What's our finisher? Mm-hmm. So they get to describe how they want to finish off the bad guy in the combat. And I've been sitting at this stage for a little under an hour. I'm immensely emotive in how I move. They're immensely emotive in our move. There's an old adage, perform for row Z. Wrestling, we use it all the time. Perform big, wide movements so the people in the back rows can see you. Here, same thing. Maybe we don't need to do it, but it makes people more engaged when they're watching.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Aside from what Toddy just said about the planning and everything like that, and how it comes into her character, she writes everything down. I'm the complete opposite, and that has to do a lot with my training. I'm started in 1998. I'm the oldest person at the group. Back then, we didn't plan like we do wrestling. I'm sure everyone knows wrestling. There are fans here. They know the breakdown. You've seen behind the curtain now. They plan a lot. Back in the day, we didn't do that. It was like, here's what we're going to do at the end. We'll see you out in the ring. I do that. So I was like, I take that into my character now. So I built myself a big dumb automaton who's a barbarian with a horrible intelligence. So that way I have an excuse as Justin to when they ask me for details, I go, I don't know, And my character doesn't know, I don't know, but I built it into my character, So it made the most sense because that's where my strengths lie, are in improv, completely in improv, So for the table and for the show's benefit, I keep, I play into my strengths. So,
does anyone else have any other questions right now? Yeah.
So, hello everybody. So, how would y'all feel to come get Tekka and do a live show?
Well,
fuck yeah.
I mean, inherently, my statement is, fuck yeah. You know what? Let's talk afterwards and let's figure out. Let's exchange some emails.
Is there money involved?
No.
What?
D&D is the one thing. D&D and wrestling, we don't do it for the money.
It's the one thing we don't profitize. It's our literal.
So how much gold are we looking at? Gosh.
Yeah, y'all come in as y'all dress as have a certain special thing of your character and everything on the side and stuff, and y'all do a live show in front of everybody.
We've talked about it.
We have considered it multiple times. It is finding the right spot, finding the right opportunity, and all of us being comfortable and available. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
We all have day jobs because wrestling is a hobby. It's a semi-profession, but we are the semi-pros of wrestling. We are very lucky to have shared locker rooms with some of the best wrestlers in the world. Lee Moriarty is literally the greatest wrestler I've ever shared the room with. I literally remember sitting at RWA with Justin when Lee had his one match at RWA and going, why the hell is he still in the independent? He didn't.
Not to be a name dropper. That's what we call in the business when we start talking about big names.
Well, we're almost done, so we're going to start dropping
exactly.
names.
But since I've been wrestling so long, I shared locker rooms with CM Punk. I've shared locker rooms with Seth Rollins, who used to go by his name was Tyler Black back in the day. all kinds of big names, as of we all have at some point in our
yeah.
careers,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? So, yeah, continue what you were saying. That's all.
I mean, it is one of those
Yeah.
weird things where
It's weird.
we can't. And here it's we're under the same Twitch category as Matt Mercer, Brendan Lee Mulligan, and we borrow from them. I have had DM conversations with some people over at Dimension 20 on ideas for show stuff and how to bend a little bit. Promoters who are. I haven't told you guys this yet, but I had to tell a ad guy no because it was one of those ads that like every YouTuber gets, and you're like, I don't know what this contract is, but it looks like garbage.
Was it Raid Shadow Legends?
No, but you're not far off.
Okay.
So
Was there money involved?
not enough to be a meme.
Oh, yeah, another question?
Yeah. Well, any other questions?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Somebody have a question?
You had your hand raised. John.
Oh,
I was going to say, Techno already has the stage, and for you guys to easily have your own little spot there. I've seen a lot of startup groups just come in and just stay for years.
Hell yeah.
What is it?
Deco.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know the biggest con we have in this area.
Never heard of it.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's
The second biggest con we've ever
the
had.
second biggest con.
Although, if we could pull off Anthro.
No.
Hey, I'll get.
Well, it's the same ring.
Hey, a lot of furries love wrestling.
Fighting games, wrestling, and furries have this weird tri-Venn diagram. Anyway,
I know we're on a good path. Speaking of what's that? I would. I'm there. Let's go. $100. Okay. No,
he's a cheap date.
yeah. No, as far as you were going, like with the sponsors and everything, I know that we're on the right path because we've been doing this for what, 7 years?
About six.
Six. Okay, so about 6 years now, and about 3 years ago, the WWE came out with a group of wrestlers playing D&D. And I remember he sent that to me, and I was like, "What is this shit?" You know, like. And then I responded. I was like, "No, we were the original and first." And I actually changed our social medias to say that original and first wrestlers to play Dungeons and Dragons.
And it's not a dig to like Xavier Woods, who I've met. Like Austin's great. It's just it was clearly like someone Googled this, found us, and said we can do this and make more money than them.
And who's still going?
And because Dimension 20 was like, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah, they're done. We're still going.
WWE got thrown to the curb. We're still here. Anyone else have any questions about wrestling, about D&D, about life, favorite cookies?
What is the perfect table? Just doing enough to power bomb my girlfriend.
Say it again. Louder.
For her, so
That sounds like a me question.
So it was what's the perfect table to powerbomb someone through?
Oh.
We're gonna say that your girlfriend could probably powerbomb you, just for safety purposes. Okay.
I kind of just like go. I shift my weight so she can throw me.
What did you do, Keith?
What did I do?
Best.
We're good.
The best table to. So he's asking what's the best table that actually. Here's the secret. They can expand on this a little bit. It all actually hurts.
Yeah, it all hurts. It all hurts, especially if you don't have a good base for the table.
Oh, sorry.
If you don't have a good base for the table, it's not actually going to break. I know that firsthand. Bounce, and also the door just becomes part of your landing pad. But, it's like in Indiana Jones where they're jumping out of the plane with the inflatable tube. Oh. Yeah. So.
It's not. I know people like throwing an F word around, and it's not that. It hurts. Everything we do hurts. And even this emotionally can hurt. I have tortured these 3 plus 2 for the better part of a year because I am an emo kid who listened to way too much My Chemical Romance and turned it into a D&D campaign.
Let's make these guys like it.
Yep.
I built a character to kill him and give them emotional damage. She was inches away from death, and had his wife call her. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, Tony almost killed me. It was-
That's fun, isn't it?
Can Justin tell people about how he built the table?
oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Speaking-
actually, you know
speaking
what?
of
Let's end
tables,
with that.
Sure.
I did have one quick comment. If you're going to use a table, make sure you take the screws out first.
Yes.
I got
Any table's fine. Just take the screws out.
I got some wood from Lowe's and nails and.
So
No, yeah.
go
No,
for
go
it.
ahead.
No, you built a custom 3-piece table.
Yes.
It
So-
has 2 single ends and a center in it that we can play on. Actually, while you're talking about it,
Wait, make sure you don't. That's plugged in. You might want to pull them. If you hit the escape button, it pulls up some weird stuff. You know. But
So many tentacles.
we were playing like we discussed earlier. How during COVID we were all over the place. Then we had tables like this, and we had like a long line. We couldn't figure out the best way to film the show, so I just came up with the idea. I wanted to make a V table. You know, sit 3 here, 3 here. The DM facing us. So I just did that. I built 2 boxes, 2 rectangular boxes. In the center, basically, like you would slide into a dining room table, a centerpiece, and that's basically it. You know, it was really easy to make, but I made our own table, and I'm hopefully going to be making our second table here soon, because this was like the prototype, and it works really well. But there's other things that I want to do with it and everything. So, yeah,
it's. I'm trying to get
Loading,
this
loading.
yeah,
While we pull up the image of the table.
yeah.
One, have you ever considered running for the show a game other than D&D? And 2, do you have a favorite tabletop game that you think might do, I should say, wrestling as story better than D&D?
So to answer the first part of your question, obviously because we're people with jobs as well as wrestlers that get bookings here, there, and every other place imaginable. There's been a couple of times where we have had to run a D&D game and we had the date set out, but not everybody was able to make it. So instead of writing them out of the story for that episode, instead we just kind of skipped and did a different game. We've done. We did Dread. We did the Dread system. We did the Fast and Furious game. We also had a board game night because a lot of I think it was just myself, Keith, and Mikey that were available.
And my wife. Carry on.
Well, I mean from the actual game.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
It was just us that were available for the actual day that we had to stream. So we grabbed Keith's wife and we just played a bunch of random board games, which included The Thing and what was the other one? It was like a 1972 special.
I think it was like don't do this. It was pretty much like a Stranger Danger game.
Yeah, Stranger Danger.
Yeah.
In addition, I would love for us to be able to in October play One Night Werewolf.
That'd be cool.
Like Werewolf is so much fun, and I've seen. Yes, I'm stealing, but everyone here probably knows what Smosh is. Smosh has really blown up with their games channel. They finally have a cast that is like diverse and strong, and they seem to have the biggest blast playing that game. I think you build 8 wrestlers with me moderating and hide some werewolves, and you have 6 minutes to find werewolves. We could have 3 hours of good content on that. So, but this is the table from last show. Wanted to show this off. Justin built this whole thing. It's we got places for food. We got all our tablets with plot hole, map holes, camera well, map setup. In this back room right here is literally all our minis and everything. Like we've set up a full studio as much as human. And considering we started sitting on separate couches 6 feet apart from each other to get to this point over 6 years, that is an amazing journey, and I loved.
That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Appreciate that. Like it's been a journey. I love that I got to experience it with you guys. I love that I'm now being able to tell you guys. I hope you guys check us out on IndyWrestling.us. We are also on YouTube. Just search Top Rope Tabletop. And if there's nothing else.
Any quick questions?
Quick questions? We got 30 seconds.
Yeah, just check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Top Rope Tabletop.
And Drawbridge Games are our main sponsor. Sorgatron Media. I'm Tony Kincaid. Bearcat Keith Hot. I'm Wilton Tatiana. Justin Idol. Thank you so much.
Buy our shirts.
Thank you guys so much.
Buy our shirts. Buy our shirts.
Guys,
Mayhem
tomorrow,
show.
night 2 of this con. There is going to be the Wrestle Mayhem Show, which is the main podcast for Sorg Media. They talk about wrestling and all other pop culture events. Have you found the guest yet? Tatiana's guest host.
I'm a maybe. I'm a maybe.
So they will be live recording tomorrow.
How about the awesome cast?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome cast.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sorg, I'll come.
5 o'clock tonight.
Is there money involved?
I will
I'm
buy.
beating a dead horse. I'm done.
All right, if you guys agree to show up to our podcast to our panel tomorrow, I will buy Justin snacks.
I'm there.
There we go.
So real quick for the gentleman in the back, if you want a good game for story, if not worry about dice roll, also Monster Week is fun. We ran that at Carnegie once too. Sorry, everybody was sick. Everybody had COVID, but we still ran a game at Carnegie. That was fun. Everybody besides me, Missy was the MVP, Sorg's wife. Yeah, I know. But I just want to tell him that. I was like, that's a fun game.